Hello, and welcome to my July 22nd update for my GTNH playthrough. Right now, just finished up breeding a lithium bee. The reason I did this is my phthalic acid over here it's actually starting to make a little progress. It is not keeping up with these three combs that are going through it. And that's going to get real important because I didn't end up getting to it today like I thought I would at the end of yesterday, but I want to set up some uranium reactors to start getting some, or basically preparing for IV to get more energy going. So I want to set up a processing line for this and make sure I just have consistent uranium coming in, because this guy does give us both uranium 238 and 235. Looks like it gives more 235 than the other, but anyways, so today, as I said, I just bred this lithium bee here, so more passive resources. So I'm gonna just right off the bat set up 2 alveries for it. Before I was getting my lithium combs from my salt bees, which I actually have 2 over here, and then 1 over at my old oil plant, but they only give a 5% chance of the lithium comb. This one's basically reversed. It's 15% for the salt comb, or 15% for the lithium comb, and then I believe 5% for the salt, which will be cool. It'll just be more nitrogen for me, which is still generally one of the bottlenecks over for the CBD. So did that. The other thing I did was finish up crafting this little crafting section for this guy right here. Makes me Enderman for auto crafting, and this one makes zombies for auto crafting, or at least zombie in a vial, Enderman in a vial, and then those can be used for like the Z logic controllers and stuff. Let's see, it's the Z logic. Oh yeah, right here. The Franken zombies, actually. I haven't set up the pattern yet, but getting these in here is real nice because it'll make it so that when I want to use advanced filters for Ender IO, or I need a little more room in my filter, I can easily craft them. I don't have to do too much to set up the auto craft for these guys now that these here are automated. The other bee I ended up breeding today was an emerald bee, because I did not have emerald on passive at all yet, so I got this guy set up, which actually ended up being completely pointless, and I'll show why here in a minute. I also increased the stats for this somnolent drone for the soul comb, specifically because soul combs can, when they get centrifuged out, we get sulfur wax, and then the sulfur wax can be used to make soul sand. So at some point, I'm not in too big of a rush for it, but some of the Ender IO stuff needs their solarium ingot, and to get that you need soul sand. So I just wanted to have that on passive as well, but I just threw it in an apiary because I really don't need it fast, and I didn't want to waste alvery on it, at least not yet. At some point I will, but reason I started recording now is because I'm actually waiting on some more alvery blocks to craft. Sorry, I don't know why that was a tongue twister for me. So I got some going here, as well as some of the stimulators. I didn't pre-craft those. I didn't think about it, or else I would have had it going, because I actually started up the server a while ago, but then I ended up spending a good while grilling some chicken and making dinner and stuff, so I never ended up getting around to auto crafting, and I could have just had that going in the background. So as you can see, I've got this spawner here in my hotbar, which gets into the other thing I did today. Real quick, actually, this may seem kind of random, but since we're standing here instead of flying back and forth a few times in the video, I wanted to show this little nifty trick. So if you're ever doing a process where, like say when I set up a chemical reactor like right now, and I'll show you where I utilize this here in a minute, I wanted a bunch of nuclear reactors, but to set it up, I know I'm going to need these overclocked and component. Like every time I craft a thorium version of this, which is actually what I labeled this, I need all these components. So what you can do is you can take a stick, put it on the anvil, rename it whatever you want, just costs a little bit of XP, which is basically free, and then use that in the pattern terminal. And for me, I just have it set up over here because this is a chest I actually set up a long time ago, but that was back when I was out of channels over here. Just throw the pattern in here and it comes out. So currently, right now I have the Alvarez electric. This one specifically, it'll make me 3 electrical simulators, the 3 circuit boards, and then the electrical tubes that I need to solder. So that way I don't have to sit there and craft those individually. All those pop out. So you see 3 electrical simulators, 3 intricate circuit boards, 10 diamantine electron tubes, and 2 iron. Which you don't know, the 10 and 2, it's the max you can, that gives you plus 16 production, which is the max you can go before you start degrading your bees. Got one for EBF setup, one for LCRs. And for both these, I just did medium volt hatches because those are generally all I need. I was originally going to go LV, but honestly, MV is easier because you just need molten polyethylene versus the refined glue, which I do have set up now, but I did not at the time when I made these patterns. So I was like, screw it, I'm just going to use MV buses and hatches going forward. And then sometimes if I need more or HV hatches, that's fine. It's easy enough to craft as well, but I didn't want to waste the stainless at the time. The Extreme Entity Crusher, specifically, there was enough room with this that I just made it like the EV tier one, because this actually, if you don't know, when you go to make a EEC, the glass needs to match whatever power level you're doing. So in this case, I'm using reinforced glass because that's EV tier. The thorium reactor. And then that's actually it at the moment. I thought I had another one in here. So a quick shout out again. I shouted on it yesterday, but the reason I even know about this tip was again from an aspect video. I think it was the same video I was referring to yesterday. It's a good video. A lot of random tips in there. So, but this one I really like this because this saves so much time, or at least like thought, especially for me that may or may not play this while I'm at work sometimes. And you know, I could just quickly start crafting something and go back to doing, like, you know, my real job. But, so that's that. So today, I did not do anything over here. Just fly back. Did not do anything in these 2 buildings. Well, that's slight lie. I set up... Heck, where did I even put it? Somewhere around here. Oh yeah, I set up an advanced monster repel generator, as well as one below the church over here, specifically because in here's where I was crafting. You can actually see I was cleaning up some of my lines. I actually rearranged my AE line coming in here because I didn't have it really well set up, so I can better use some channels. So this one was technically already set up and running because I had run out of ender pearls, but I just got it back online because I had turned it off because I was running into problems with my CVD, but that'll no longer be an issue. Then I set up these 2. So I set up a ghast because I feel like I'm going to need ghast tiers for soon, but I could be wrong there, but I figured it was a good idea. This thing actually, because this is a king ghast, is what made my emerald be kind of pointless, because this guy's only been running for, I want to say like an hour. It's not been online for very long, and like, look at this, 1.5 thousand emeralds. And it's also nice that it drops gunpowder as a side product. I've got so much. I need to go through and put in like void upgrades and stuff. I didn't spend too much time. Oh, weird. This guy drops glass planes. That's such a random. Interesting. This will actually be really nice for, as you can notice, half my buildings aren't constructed, but I really like using glass panes for construction. So that's that's cool. It's just a regular Enderman in here. So this one's a king gas, and then I have this fire beetle. The whole reason I have this fire beetle is so one of the things I was out of is blaze rods, and he doesn't appear to be doing that good of a job of it, so I might end up swapping him out anyways, because this is he's not doing great. But he also, this has only been running for minutes now, so maybe I'm being too harsh on this little guy. But the reason I did this guy when I need blaze rods instead of actual blazes, as you can see this power spawn here, I will just turn this off, is throw a blaze in here. You need LUV. I should have figured this was the case. The way you can know, because it's not too explicit, is if you go into the mob info, you can see the first one that's listed for dropping blaze rods is blazes, which makes sense, but always spawns infernal. So infernal spawns in the EEC, you need 8 times the power, which is why this one's calling for LUV, because normally needs 2,000 rough. It's like 1950, I think is what it says. Let's see. Yeah, oh, 1920. So take that and times it by 16, and that should be the 15,360. So that's why that doesn't work. What you can do instead of this little fire beetle dude is go with one of the other blades that say can spawn infernal. You just in here you just turn off the spawn infernal thing, so you can use any one of these. The only reason I went the fire beetle though is because I figured if I'm gonna grab something else that's not a blaze for fire rods, I might as well grab something that drops something different. Like I thought about maybe sitting around and waiting for this guy for fire charges. I don't know if I would ever need him for anything. I definitely don't need more coal, so I didn't grab this guy. Let's see, is there anything? Might as well check real quick again while we're in here. I don't think anything else of these guys really drops items that are that interesting. He at least drops these fiery steel, which I believe are used for some Thaumcraft stuff. This clay lava bucket, actually, I don't really, that's odd. I don't know, maybe I'll set up something to like pull the lava out of that. That might be helpful, because we use lava to get our tantalite, but or well, I guess I can't get out of this, but so anyways, yeah, that's these 3 guys and what I did with them. So that's cool. Because of the Ender IO stuff I set up though that I showed right at the beginning, I can now also call for, if I spelled it right, spawners and stuff. So all this is set up in AE, which is cool. So if there's any more enemies that I come across that I should set up, I'll set them up in this area as well. And the way I'm powering them is, so I do have these. This guy is my other monster repellator. This, if you don't know, this area on my map, I started off up here, and this is the only place that's not hooked up to AE2 or anything. It's kind of just a little lake house on the lake. This was my Steam, and like LV base. And I say LV really loosely. I barely spent any time in LV this playthrough. But then this was my primary base right here for a while, where I spent MV and most of HV, with like kind of these 2 bases being primarily what I used for a long time. This guy's my Thaumcraft, and then I had built this guy in mind of doing a bunch of chemicals. So I only just set these up finally because I was getting irritated at getting attacked by invisible spiders, which can just go through walls, and it's really annoying when you're trying to read the quest book and stuff. But in here below each of these guys, I set up a dedicated thorium nuclear reactor, which is why I made that nuclear reactor pattern in there. So all 3 of these are off of the CBD, so they should basically go forever. We have piles and piles of thorium. Like we're not in any sort of danger of running out or running into issues. I always have 64 on stock, and as you can see, I've got 18,000 of the dust. That thorium B is doing a very good job. and then this guy just pulls in XP, and this is all getting funneled out to that experience obelisk that's by the Ender IO auto crafting. But yeah, anyway, so that's what I got done today. What I am currently waiting on, and we'll set up. I think I'll set up before I go to bed, because my lithium, I really need to get lithium going. I'm currently waiting on this thing to craft, which this still takes 600 seconds for me because I have a dedicated blast furnace that is set up, since this guy is a circuit 3 recipe instead of a circuit 1 like everything else. So it's slow and it takes forever. You don't commonly need to make it. I actually don't even understand why it's crafting 2. I think I might have some screwed up patterns that I'll have to look at there to see why it's doing that. But once these guys craft, I'll set up the 2 alveries for the lithium drones. Hopefully that'll be enough to get lithium overflowing. If not, I might spam a few more, because I really need lithium to be higher up and keeping everything moving. That way we can set up the uranium reactors and start moving on. So that's the immediate goal, set up the lithium B, and then I can't imagine anything else is stopping me from either setting up the uranium reactors tomorrow or trying to, I know I keep saying this, but I really do want to move on in the quest book, get this epoxid, start making cheaper HV circuits, and like just moving on, because it's kind of silly. Like, I'm pretty sure with how long my platinum B's been running now, I might even be able to make a stack of iridium soon. I haven't checked to see if I can process that comb. I know I have a ton of those combs going, but I don't even know. I don't know if I have the power to process those. That might be I would imagine it's an IV tier in the LCR. Once those things craft, I'll get those set up, and actually, just for funsies, that's where my node's currently sitting at. Anyways, I hope everyone has a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.